Okay. I'm trying to get things pulled up here. Okay. I'm trying to get things pulled up here. Hold on a bit. Okay. There we go. That would be better now. I got it muted. Oh, crap. Well, this is a mess. I went and got a webcam, and I can't get the stupid thing to work. So if you're wondering why there were so many notifications, to why I was going live, it's because I was trying to mess with that thing and get it to work, and it did not want to work. So we're going back to cell phone, and I'm trying to watch the comments on the screen this time, so that way I can see what y'all are saying, because last time I couldn't half see what was going on. It's a mess, y'all. I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Well, let me know. Guessing y'all can't hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, here we go. All right. Circle S Farms. It's cold. I swear it is awful. We woke up this morning. My wife went to get in her car, and it was 7 degrees. By the time I got to the chicken house, it done warmed up though. Something here. So it has been very cold. Try to put y'all here on the computer screen. Thomas Wilson, yes. Yeah, it has been, ain't it, buddy? I tell you, it's been awful. Oh man, that New Holland, I went and got in it this morning. That thing, blue, black smoke everywhere. What's going on, guy in Wyoming? I like to not got it to start in the international. I had to use it today, and man, that thing like never crunk. Hey, yes, he just asked me about it. It took me an hour and a half to get it going. Happy New Year's, Charger Mopar. Yeah, you made this one, Wyoming. But yeah, it's definitely a pill to get going. Going to the Kentucky Farm Show. No, I ain't gonna make it to that one. I will be at the one in South Georgia this fall though. That don't happen. I bet it's cold up your way, Wyoming. $36 today. Well, that ain't that bad. Ah, dang. I might trade with you. I think that was the high today, if it was even that. Mark Holding. Lord, I can't even say that. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. Mark Hogan Dyke, I think's what that says. Man, you're driving all the way down there from Canada? Holy crap. You got a ride, buddy. That's a long ways. That was the high and the wind speed. Oh, Lord. I can't handle that wind. It blew a little bit here today, but it was just straight out cold. 5 Circle S Farms, 5 below here with wind chill last night. Creeks are frozen. The creeks froze. Wow. Yeah, I can't handle 5 below. Of course, around what I'm in the south, so it's kind of opposite. Y'all are used to more cold weather up further north, and we're used to more hot weather, so y'all probably think the same thing through hot weather. Like when it's nearly 100 and humidity's just something awful here is nothing to us, but to somebody up north, I guess it'd be awful. High of 13 today in Ohio. George, 9 tomorrow. God, man, I'm tired of this cold weather already. I'm ready to go back to making some hay. Charger Mopar, 69 degrees here. Where are you at? Because you told me the other day that y'all didn't have to worry about feeding hay to cows or nothing. You've got to be way down south, like either southern Florida or southern Texas, real down far or something. Had to work in Tennessee June last year. I about died, yeah. See, that's the thing. Everybody looks at people in the South like we freak out because it gets cold, but it's just like if y'all got real hot weather like we have here, y'all are probably miserable where y'all are at. We just don't have and as far as the roads and stuff, we just don't have the equipment on hand because it's not, it doesn't happen. We don't get enough bad cold weather to justify having it. So then when it does do something, we're stuck. And it's just horrendous then, but I don't mind it because I got a tractor. Most people around here don't. Yeah, we've been feeding hay every day. I ain't got to fly the drone yet a whole lot because it's been too cold. But I don't know if y'all know, but on drones you're not supposed to fly them if it's below 32 on just about all of them. So I ain't got to mess with it. Hey, did you get those water lines fixed, Wyoming? To where they wouldn't freeze? Our drinkers are still froze out in the barn. We've just been having to drag a water hose out and fill them up. We drain them, yeah. That's what I figured. Y'all nearly have to drain every time y'all do something because it just gets so dang cold. Normally we only get about a day or two of this and then it goes away again and we don't have to worry about it, but it's hanging around this time. It's a pain. Plenty better setup next year. Yeah. Oh. How many people we got? 11. You know, he's talking about that, oh, wait a minute. 4 inches down, and most folks recommend 6. Yeah, that's just, I mean, we try to put ours around that, same thing. Unless you mean feet, now that's just crazy. But feet, oh God. It'd take a hell of a trencher to get that deep. Good Lord. But we were talking about that cattle, the mandate to have to label the beef. Me and Dad was talking about that today. And it's just bullshit is what it is. It just pisses me off. I mean, it's talking about when they changed that, what we were getting, the price per pound just got cut in half because I was getting right there at the high of the market before they took it off. I was getting $2 a pound of calf, and now we're down to like $1.15, $1.20. I mean, that's a big swing just because the packing companies wanted to. For some reason, I cannot get any video. Oh crap. Try resetting it or something. Anybody else had any problems? But the packing companies are the reason why they done that, because they weren't making the money that they were, and when they went in and changed, paid off the politicians to shake that crap off, then they are making all that money that we were, and now we're killed, and they're letting beef in here from Canada and everywhere else, flooding the market. They took in, I think, me and Dad said it was like 100 and something thousand more pounds of beef this year from Canada versus last year, or it was either a million something. I forget how much he said it was, but I mean, that's stupid. Why do we need to take in more meat? I mean, I know why. It's because they're mixing that cheaper beef in with our meat and getting premium price for it here, because they don't have to label it anymore. And what's sad is nobody knows anything about any of this. And the ones that do don't say anything. And that Cattlemen's Association is the biggest joke that there ever was. All those stupid clubs are just like that, are ridiculous, because as soon as they get up there to Washington or wherever the heck they go, they get their payoffs and they go the other way. Yeah, I mean, you can't find it. The only place you're going to find it is like a grocery store like Publix or something like that. I know Publix goes out of their way to make sure that it's American beef, and that's because they buy local. Yeah, they want your membership money. Hey, Alabama farmer. But I mean, it's just, if you're from any other country, you've got to be sitting here laughing at us, especially the Canadians and Mexicans, because they are making a killing off of us right now, because they're shipping beef in here from both countries, just flooding it in here. And then they're taking it and they're mixing it with our meat, and then they're getting the USDA to inspect it, and they're putting a USDA stamp on it, and it's not even beef from here. And people are buying it thinking it's American beef, and it's not. I don't understand how it's fair for them to not allow us to put our country's name on our meat, because that's what their argument was. It's not fair. I don't care. They do it in their country. You think you go to Mexico or China or anywhere else and they don't have Mexican or Chinese labeling on their beef, unless it's just so bad that they don't even want anybody to know. But I mean, that's so. I mean, anybody that would argue against that, let me ask you this: if your meat has a label that says, you got one that says Brazilian meat, you got another one that says American meat, and you got another one that says Canadian or Mexican meat on it, I guarantee you, even the people that argue saying that they should not be able to label is going to grab, that's in this country, is going to grab the American beef first. And that's because the other countries don't have the regulations that we do here for our meat, and the processes that we have to go through to keep it clean. And it makes me so mad, because the farmer's the one getting screwed. Because you can go to any grocery store right now, and all the meat that's in that grocery store is at the same price it was, and not very little difference from the time that I was getting $2 and something a pound for my beef here to now, when I'm getting $1 or a little over it for a calf at 500 pounds for our market here. And we don't get quite what they do out in the Midwest, because they have to ship them all the way from out here out there to the feedlots. But it's just crap. And they're doing the same thing to the grain boys. They're training people in other countries to grow grain, and they're flooding our market and bringing it in here from there. And they're just going to drive down their prices. The same thing they did to the dairies. I mean, they're literally trying to kill farming here. And every now and then they'll throw us a bone and make it a little better. But what makes me ill is because nobody knows about this. You didn't see it on the news. You didn't see, I've never heard anybody talking about it. And Dad was talking to me. All those beef magazines, that I don't know if y'all ever got them, when that was going on the back of them, oh, they listed all these reasons why they needed to take off the mandate for labeling country of origin on the beef on the back of them. As soon as it passed, you never seen another thing about it. And they did not want anybody seeing or hearing anything else about it afterwards, because they didn't want people to know. They swept that underneath the rug so fast because they got their payoffs. The Chinese own all the packing companies and the Brazilians. The only one that is owned by Americans anymore that I know of is Tyson's, and that's it. Everything else is Chinese or Brazilian owned, and they control everything. They pay the politicians to vote the way they want them to vote, to allow what comes in here and out. And when you go to the grocery store, you ain't eating American. You're eating Canadian, Mexican, Brazilian, wherever else it is, and maybe a little bit of American beef mixed in it. And it's a bunch of crap. I mean, it really is. We don't even need any meat from Canada or Mexico. And the people that's watching from other countries, I'm sorry, I know some of y'all, if y'all are cow farmers, maybe get upset by what I'm saying. But if you were in your country and they told you you can't label your meat American anymore, or whatever, wherever you live, say you live in Canada, and you can't label your meat Canadian, and you're proud of it, would you not be sitting here thumping on your stump? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is. About half of what we was getting a couple years ago, liberal bastards. Well, Circle Farms, you know, I hate to say it, but the one good thing Obama did was he put the mandate on to make the labeling to begin with. And then the Republicans actually the ones that took it off. As much as I don't like to say that either, but that's the actual what happened. And it's a bunch of crap. It really is. And this happened before Trump ever got into office. This has all happened before then. Went to crap three or 4 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago is when they took it off. Have you seen a spike in your hay sales this cold spell? Selling out hotcakes here in Bama this past week. Anthony Adams. Yes. It has went up a little bit. I'm out of squares, so the rounds are picking up. Thomas Wilson, that is why I kill my own. Yeah, I mean, if you can do that, but I mean, ultimately for us, I mean, like you do the same thing. I mean, trying to make money off of it is what I'm pointing at. Is because I mean, it's just killed the money we're getting out of them. I mean, there's no money in cattle right now. I see all these people running to cattle business in the row crops and stuff because the row crops are terrible. But I mean, cattle business is horrible right now. I just don't see why anybody wants in it. There's no good farming right now other than maybe if you're in the right area, maybe you get lucky with a little hay, but I mean, that's about it. Hager Farms, what's going on, man? Goldfire, are you going to buy a McHale Baler this year? No. I don't have a dealer near me. Or I'd be looking at one of those too. Right now, the ones that's in the lineup is the new Massey Baler. I think it's a 4160V or something like that. I think maybe the number is, I don't know for sure. Or the Klaus 460 variant. And I don't even know if we're going to get one this year. It may be next spring, because we are looking very seriously into a Kuhn MFG 10 bale accumulator for the squares this spring. More than likely that's what you're going to see, and then I'm probably just going to make the Klaus do for another year and then maybe get one the following spring, which I kind of, it works out a little better because then I can get time to check everything. And then I ain't never been real crazy about buying a baler if I did like the Massey the first year they come out or anything, because they have little kinks in them they work out within the first year. So oh Lord. But the McHale though is a great baler, but we just don't have any dealers yet right here, and I'm not gonna go and get into that and not have no support. That's my thing there. But going back to the beef thing, guy in Wyoming, you said something about doing grass-fed beef. There, I had somebody message me about that and talk to me a little bit about it that was looking to get into it. That is a good market to get into. If you have the operation set up to where you can market your own stuff and know how to do all that and can manage it properly and go through that, you can make some good money. There's a guy locally here that got into that, and he's done real well with it. But honestly, most of your cows that's out in the pasture are grass fed until they leave the farmer's farm and go to the feedlots or wherever else. But 75 to 85, probably more than that, it could probably go in the 90% range. It's grass fed. Other than the part of about the vaccinations and stuff, because a lot of people are like us and they worm their cattle. I know if you're certified with grass fed, you can't do any of that unless it's all natural. Which honestly, I'd rather eat a cow that has been wormed with no worms than a cow with worms. But yes, they do. When you advertise, guy in Wyoming said, "Yep," but when you advertise it right, they pay for more for normal stuff. Yeah, they really do. I mean, you can. It's just ground. I mean, it's just regular beef. Grass-fed ducks are my favorite meat charger run for. Yeah. I agree with you there. Deer, grass-fed deer is probably one of my favorites, honestly. Mr. Gixer, a lot of people here in my valley in central Pennsylvania switched to egg farming in the last 5 years. Yes, I have noticed that. There's a lot of people getting into the poultry business for, I guess you say, hatcheries, or I don't know what the heck you would call that, raising basically eggs, and then doing just different kinds of poultry business. There's been a spike in that. But the poultry business is what they would dream of, having the cattle business, but they can never make it work. They tried it several times. And that's to where the companies control everything you do. As soon as you'll go in and you'll build a house. I've been told this my entire life. Now, I have no experience with poultry business, but my family does. And my daddy and everybody's told me this. And I've heard other people talk about it several times and told me the same thing. The way the poultry business works is you're going to go in, they're going to get loans and everything, build you chicken houses, and you'll pay them off. As soon as you get them paid off, you'll think you're doing real good for about 3 years, and then they're going to come in, they're going to mandate that you do a bunch of updates on the chicken houses, and they're going to come in and say you've got to spend $500,000 or better to fix all the chicken houses, to update them. And it's mandated or they take your chickens away. So you have to do it, or you have to drop and get out of the chicken business. And you have one or two choices. Or you swap growers, and all the growers do the same thing. And I've never liked anybody telling me what I can and cannot do and controlling me. But you'll make a decent money. It's just like all farming. You make a little bit. Let's see. I seen... I think it's a bad deal that Massey can't make a tractor in the USA. John Deere say they do, but I think they get parts from all over the country. I think also Massey sold us out the most. I don't know. I think Massey does build some stuff here. I know they assemble some of it here. But none of them are made here anymore, honestly. Even the Deeres, unless you get into very large tractors, that's the only thing that's made here. Or maybe Case does some still here. There's very few of them. Most of them are made overseas just because it's cheaper. But with the new tax code that we got coming, you may see a big difference in that. But I mean, they had to do it to survive. It's the only way they can compete, honestly. I mean, it's just, they're all that way. All the parts ain't made here, though. Haggard Farms, would you get rid of them corn for a Massey? Yes. Yes, we want to. Can't afford it. No, the Circle S Farms, I think the same. I think the new Massey made in China 4700 series. No, it's not. The Massey 4700 series is built in, I think it's the I said it the other day. It's the Belgian, or the France plant. It's the big known France plant where the 5400 was built, and all the 5700 series that's so good and well known and proven. That is where the 4700 is built, including the engine. The AGCO engine that's in those tractors for the 4600 is built in China, and the 4600 is built in Japan. But the 4700 is built in France, and the engine is too. But it's the same engine that's in the 46, but it's built in France, which is one of the top best plants in the entire world for any make. Let's see. Hilton Family Farm. Where did you get your first Klaus baler? Kane Equipment. That was the first thing we ever bought from Kane Equipment, was the Klaus, I believe. Now Kubota is made at Thomas Wilson. Now Kubota is made here in Georgia. Yeah, they are. Po' Boy Farms. Why don't you like McCormick? Honestly, it's not that I don't like McCormick. I don't know how the ones that they're making now are, but the one we have, the company's okay to deal with, but the tractor that we have in particular is right when McCormick International split off from Case, when the New Holland and Case merged, and that tractor's junk. I mean, honestly, it is. It's had a fully rebuilt air conditioner. I'm talking about all the pieces and parts. It had electrical problems in the transmission. It had starting problems, or it had more problems with electrical. It wouldn't start. The lift jumps up and down. Half the time it doesn't work. About the only thing good about that tractor is the engine that's in it, and it's got a Perkins engine in it. I mean, I know there's a lot of y'all that watch this channel that has McCormick's, and that's just, I hate to say it, but the tractor's not been a good tractor for us, and it has less hours on it than the 5400 Massey, and it's 4 years older. Mr. Gixer, New Holland, thumbs up. I hadn't had a New Holland, and I don't know when. We used to have a lot of Ford. Well, we had never had a New Holland tractor. We've had Ford tractors, which is the same thing. We've had several of those, and they were okay to us. Do you have your 46 weighted down any? No, well, I guess technically you could say we do, because it has water in the tires, but that's it. That's all we have done to it on the back. Now the front tires don't have anything in them, and it has loader mounts on it, but most of the time we don't even run it with a loader on it, but when we're doing something else. Now the Massey 5710 is made in China, but if you get a 5700 5711 SL is France. The 5710 is made in China. I didn't know that. Just the regular plain 5710. That's something new on me. But I probably wouldn't buy a 5710. I'd get it 57 SL. If I didn't get a 57 SL, I'd just get a 6700 series Massey and just go to the next frame size, because I mean, you can buy one of those for 70s and you get such a much larger frame tractor and heavier weight and horsepower and everything. I mean, I just go there because the only difference in the 57 series, the plain one and not the SL, and the 47 is it has the 4-cylinder engine versus a 3-cylinder. I mean, really, I've sat in both of them, and that's the only difference. Other than they're a little bit, the chassis is a little bit longer, but that's because of the engine. Charger Mopar, air conditioning in a tractor, what a concept. They sure didn't put it in all the old farmhouse. Yeah. Oh, that was the day back then. I wouldn't. We actually have some open station tractors, and you're probably going to see some more of that this upcoming year, because we're putting too many hours on the other ones, and we got to start spreading it out some. The 4610, everybody always kind of hates on that tractor, but that tractor gets an average of 400 hours a year, and it's looking like it's going to go over that average by the time it hits 3. It has 1,177 hours on it right now, and it will not be 3 years old until June. And it's giving no trouble. None. Everybody's always talking about them tractors online and everything. That one has given none. Now, I don't know if I just got lucky with it or what, but that tractor has been bulletproof, other than the speed sensor when we first got it. Wind is the air conditioning canopy helps too. Farming 4G. Yeah. Oh. Gotta have top though. I can't stand that sun beating down on me, especially here. It kills you. Haggard Farms, are you guys trying to grow your horse hay acres? Yes. I'd like to. I mean, we're losing cattle ground. I got to do something different to keep farming. So, and that's the direction we're getting pushed in. I mean, we don't necessarily want to go that way, but I'm about to get to the point to where if we don't find simpler ways to do things, I'm either going to have to stop or get bigger. And when I mean get bigger, that means hire help. But I don't know, it's probably a year or two before we get to that, at least that breaking point. Hilton Family Farm, any experience with Kubotas? Yeah, don't like them. That's all I'm going to say, because there's a lot of Kubota people, and I don't want to make anybody mad on here, to be honest. But I'm just not crazy about Kubota stuff. I really ain't. They're okay. I know a lot of people that has them. A lot of my competition has them. And if you're looking for a tractor like that 4610 to fill a void that's not going to break the bank, but can still do the work that one of your, like a John Deere or Case International or Case IH, it's not Case International anymore, or a Massey can do part of the time and take some of the load off of your other more expensive tractors. It's a good tractor to have. We had a Mahindra. I liked it. The only thing I didn't like about it is it had dry brakes at the time, and later after that they put wet brakes on it. It was a Mahindra 6000. We cut hay with that thing for a while, done everything, loader tractor. It was basically the 46 before we had the 46. We traded it for the 5400. BB Norris, I have fluid in my rear tires as well on my 4610M. When driving down the road at 15 miles start, it starts bouncing with loader frame on it or with just the spear on it. Maybe something in the tires. I don't know why it would be bouncing. I've had other tractors do that before. Yeah, weights probably would help, but I don't know. BB Norris, I was just curious if you had this issue at all. Yeah, no, I don't have it. I don't have any issues with that tractor. The only thing, the 4600 series, I will tell you right now, it is not the tractor that most Massey Fergusons are. But it was not built to be the tractor most Massey Fergusons are. It was built to be a low-end, low-hour use tractor that an economy farmer that go out, maybe use it for a couple hours a day. It's not a tractor you're meant to sit in and ride all day long every day. I'm doing that, but it's not meant for that. And I knew that going in, and I expected to have issues. So far, I haven't had any, knock on wood. But that tractor is not designed for that. It's meant to fit a budget and meant to be big enough to do some jobs if you need it, but really for a light use tractor. And a lot of people bought those tractors around here, and they went and tried to do what I do with my 5400 because it is 100 horse and it's a compact utility tractor, and they found out that they could not do what I was doing with the 5400 with that tractor, and I knew that going in. And a lot of people never really understood that now that with these tractor companies, there's more to a tractor than just a 100 horse tractor. A lot of people still think, oh, I buy a 100 horse tractor, it's a 100 horse tractor. No, There's different weight classes, different use levels, and everything. And a lot of us are cheap. We don't want to spend the extra money on a heavier tractor to handle the workload that we have, when we're overworking a cheaper tractor than, and we know better than it's really shouldn't be doing that. I'm doing it, but it's holding up. I really like that tractor, but the cab, I do not like the cab on the tractor. If it was an open station, it'd be perfect, but the cab is loud and it's tiny, and that's one thing I don't like about it. That's because of the insulation on the cab. It doesn't have any good insulation on them. One fix for that is to take some of that silver insulation and tape it to the bottom of the cab, and then spray the inside of the fender wells with like a rhino liner on the inside, and it'll help some with the vibrations and stuff in the cab. But the John Deere E-Series is the same way. I've drove those. See, Haggard Farms, we are selling hay to some clients that own a big horse stable in Kentucky. Yeah, I've got a few that's pretty good size. If you can get one that actually pays good and you're doing good, and that's the ones you really better hang on to and treat them right. In your area, can you grow alfalfa? Around here, it will not grow, so we use perennial peanut instead. Charger Mopar. Yeah, you can grow alfalfa here. Actually, a good friend of ours that lives on the other side of the county grew the best alfalfa in the state. Or he was the second or third best. I think he was the best. One year down there at Ag Expo, he took it down there and they entered in that competition they have with the hay grower down there. I think they won it or come in like second or third. So yeah, I mean, you can grow it here. I just try to stay away from specialty hay, because I found that for my customers, they would rather pay the cheaper price for natural grass that's growing here, which is fescue or like Bermuda crabgrass that we have, than the specialty stuff. They're not going to give you a premium price for it, and unless you can sell it and it fly like so much faster than the other, it's really not a benefit for me to do specialty hay, and that's one reason why I don't mess with it. By the time I get all the extra stuff into it, the expenses and everything, and you sell it for the extra price, and the more you can really move of it, you haven't gained anything. So I just try not to even mess with it. I do a little bit of oat hay. That's what I did with those oats that I said we got. I sow a little bit of oats in a few of my square bale fields, because some of my customers like that. But other than that, I don't do nothing. Let's see. My McCormick, Gary Davis, my McCormick CX75 is 3,500 hours, has never been in shop, and I would not give it for Master 4610. I mean, if that's the case, hell, I wouldn't either. I mean, as far as the tractor layout and the way it's designed, I would not trade it for a 4610 if it's not giving any trouble. Ours is giving a bunch of trouble. My dad wants to trade the McCormick for a 4710. Honestly, that's what he's chomping at the bit to do it, but we can't justify it. I want to trade it for a 6712 or 13. Honestly, that and plain without the Dyna in it, and that's because if you add the Dyna, I think it's like $15,000 more for SL, and I don't want to pay that for a transmission. I can shift gears. Honestly. Minnesota Oliver Deer, howdy. What's going on, man? Haggard Farms, we live in southern Kentucky. Okay, well, you ain't too far from me. Diamond D Farms, hello. Oh. Mark Skeen, hey buddy, hope you had a good Christmas. How about your 383? Those are great tractors. Yes, they are. They are excellent tractors, and actually I believe it's Gary Davis, I think, is the one that told me he has I think it's a 271XE. And those tractors, I've looked into them, are nothing but a 383, but they're a little bit lighter. Up there where he's at. I can't remember if it was him or not. Sorry if it is, Gary. But they're I love the 200 series and 300 series. Those are excellent tractors. They had light front ends under them, but it's for the two-wheel drives. But man, you cannot beat those tractors. A lot of people didn't like them because of the cabs and stuff, but that 383 has never had anything done to it. Yeah, basically 6,000 hours. It's never had anything done but an AC compressor, which was put on 1,000 hours ago, and it's had a clutch. That's it. And I think it had one time it had a leak in one of the lines for the AC that we had to get fixed. But 6,000 hours and that's all the problems you have. You can't ask for anything better than that. A lot of people tell you their tractors are better than that, but most of them don't tell you the truth. Let's see. No, I don't know how many acres he got with alfalfa. BB Norris, other than this bouncing issue, I have not had any problems with the 4610M. I love the engine preset, speed feature, and power show. Yours has the preset feature. Mine is the older one. So you've got the M. Mine's just a 4610. I don't have the preset or any of that on mine. The bouncing's got to be the tires. It's got to be either where it's set for a long time and they've got a place in them when it's flat or something. The McCormick does that, and I don't know why. It started doing it probably 2 years ago. You can go down the road and it'll start doing this number and throwing you sideways. It's not got a bent wheel on it or anything, but it starts doing that. It's something with the tires. They're Goodyears, which I think the 46 has Goodyears on it. I'm not sure. I don't like Goodyear tires. The best tires I've used to date is those Michelin radial tires that are on the 5400. They don't wear out and they last forever. The only thing I've heard is they dry rot around the side, but mine haven't done that yet. And it's a 2008 model, so. Diamond D Farms, done with round baler. Bearings caught fire each time, got fire out, but may not be so lucky if I try again. I mean, you run that risk with just about, square rails aren't quite as prone for it. Round balers do have issue with it. I've never, well, I can't say that. Actually, the Vermeer almost caught on fire one time. The L did, and I think the M did. On the side there, I have to look. The L was the main roller bearing went out, and it nearly caught on fire, and it turned the whole side of the baler just a huge square. Looked like almost like primer paint where it burned it so bad, and it nearly went up. So we got it out and put a new bearing on it, and it was all fine. I think the M got close, but I caught it one day. I seen it smoking. It actually did. The M bearings on that Vermeer M, what we've got, a 504M, it started smoking one day when we was going across the field, and I caught it, and I waved Dad down. I run up our tube and I threw some water on it right quick before it had time to start dropping any melted rubber from the bearing down onto the hay, catch it afire. So we got lucky twice. That's the only 2 times. The Klaus, I hadn't had that problem yet, but never say never. Farming 4G, our first Vermeer Super M had bearing go out, main roller bearing as well. Luckily just started one bale on fire and we're able to get it fixed that night. Dealer said seemed to be a common issue with that series. Haven't had a problem. Yeah, that's been I guess you could say it's a common thing across the board with Vermeer. I like Vermeer though. I really do. I wish we had the 604M or the like y'all have got, or not like y'all got, like one like y'all have. Those are good balers. They really are. But that 504M we've got, that thing was a mistake by Vermeer. That was a baler that they should not have released the way they did. It had numerous issues. The Classic was a different story. Classic was nothing but an L, and if we'd have got it, actually I talked my neighbor into getting one. He come over the field and watched me bale with the M, the 504M, and he really liked it, and I talked him into buying one. It's basically sold it to him out of the field. And but I told him, I said, go get the Classic because the M we had did not have core density, and it frustrated me because one thing I hate about that baler we've got is you have to walk it back and forth constantly. Build the bars all the way up, drop the other ones down, build the other side up just to even get it remotely tight, and I hate that. The L, I could drive right down the road, never worry about it. When I got close to the end, then I'd worry about leveling my bale out. Klaus, you never even have to think about it. I mean, you don't even have to worry about getting the bale level. It does it all on its own. And I don't even have to think about it crap. I hate that about that darn 504M we've got. But if I'd had a 604M with the core density and everything, we would probably still be running Vermeer balers after the Klaus, or before and never got a Klaus. My dad was going to buy another Vermeer, and I argued with him and told him I was going to be the one running it, and I wanted to pick out something I wanted. And I seen that pickup that the Klaus had with that rotor stuffer and everything in it, and I said, that's it. I said, that's what I want, because I had fought that M and the L for many years stopping up. And with our hay here, it's a little damper and heavy hay in the spring. And with the old conventional style, all our balers have always given trouble up until this Klaus with that rotor in it, but they would stop up something awful, and you have to be extremely careful here taking off, and I hated that. I just despise me. It made me so mad, but I do like Vermeer. I don't want anybody thinking I don't like them, because I do. I would have contemplated trying the 504 Pro, but it's nothing but what the Massey's going to be. The Massey may have a few things different. I don't know yet because I ain't seen it, but it's just a Lely baler. Well, Lely welder design with Vermeer on the side. That's all it is. That was part of the Vermeer Lely partnership they had. Diamond D Farms, it was a Vermeer sold by Massey 560 cussing. Said never go to field without water field extinguisher. That saved it. I never knew that. Of course, I never used to. I didn't pay any attention to the whole Massey balers, just the tractors. Because we liked Vermeer, and that's all we ever had was Vermeer stuff. But yeah, Vermeer's known, I guess, is known for bearing problems and getting hot. Gary Davis, yes it was me. I love them. The best 200, 300 NFs. Yes, and I got something you're gonna like, but nobody knows about it for a while. Circle S Farms got a Vermeer Rebel 5500. The balls fell out on the pickup. We got lucky, I guess. The Rebels, the early Rebels were not that good. The later Rebels now, they're okay, but the early Rebels were not good. A lot of people had a lot of trouble with that baler, and we were one of the first people in our area to have Vermeers, and we run them for a long time, and people started trying to get away from New Holland when New Holland was having so many problems with their drive shafts back yonder, and everything that was going on with them, and they started trying to find something else, and people seen us running Vermeers, so they started going and looking, and a lot of them didn't want to pay for the L or whatever the bigger baler was, so they went and bought the Rebel, and they were trying to bale hay like we do with that, and you can't do that. It's just like buying a 4610 or 4600 series Massey and thinking you can go out there and work it like a darn 5400 every day, all day long, and just dogging the crap out of it. It don't hold up. Now, I don't know what your situation is, but that's what people ran into here. BB Norris, take care. Thanks for feedback. Thank you, buddy, for watching. Let's see. Farming 4G, the Klaus is nice. Vermeer is a good brand all around. Customer support has been phenomenal for anything. Yes, they have great customer support. That is one thing I never had a problem with, was getting parts or customer support. Now, I did think a lot of them when they come to that. I think a lot of them, as far as the products, they got good stuff. But I just like the pickups on the Klaus. There's nothing on the market that elite hay like a Klaus, other than maybe a McHale or that new Massey Baler's coming out. But I ain't got to try them yet, so I don't know. Mark Skeen, yeah, man, I have a 240. I think it has around 6,000 hours. Best part about them is the parts are affordable and easy to work on. Yes, we had a 245. It belonged to both of my grandfather's tractor I learned to drive on. I would give everything I own if I could find that tractor, but I can't find it. It was Orchard Special with a heavy-duty clutch in it. My grandfather, my mom's dad, ordered that tractor special. Right down the road from here at a local dealer, and I would give anything for that. And it was not yellow, it was red, because generally the industrial, it was a Orchard industrial tractor, as crazy as that sounds, and it was not yellow, it was red, and it was a dang good tractor. Wide, it had the heavy duty rear end in it and everything. The only thing I didn't like about it was the Orchard exhaust. But if I got it back, I would never change that, because I have a scar on my leg to this day where I was a little kid trying to climb onto that tractor, and I burnt the side of my leg on it. And I would give anything to have it back. The only thing that was bad about those tractors was the 3 points, because you had to flip the valve to swap from, I think it's the 3 point to the rear hydraulics. I can't remember. That was the only thing bad about them I didn't like. It was aggravating. BB Norris, take care. Thanks for the feedback. Hilton Family Farm, does the rotor on the Klaus pull the tractor hard? No, it don't. They just have the Klaus spins so much. That's one thing that I think a lot of the other balers have overlooked, and that's one way they tie so fast, is the internal speed that baler spins a roll of hay is way faster than say our Vermeer is, or any of the other balers I've ever seen. It rotates the bale so fast that it's almost kind of like nearly a flywheel. It go by the centrifugal force, I guess you could say, it helps suck it in. But no, I don't never have an issue. Now the McCormick, I put it on the McCormick and I could not run it all compared to the Massey. Why, I don't know. I mean, but y'all seen that in the videos if you've been following me for a while. But now I could feel it in it. Now the Massey, I don't feel it at all in it. But if I will never buy another baler as long as they're available without one. You don't have to worry about taking off plugs, nothing. It ends it all. And that every baler. Now Klaus was one of the first ones. Them and the Welger design Lely's that had those, and all the other balers now are copying them. I do not like the design where it's basically not, I call it finger design, where it comes up underneath. John Deere and a lot of them is trying to use it. I've seen it on Massey. It's not a full rotor like the big square balers have. It's the little fingers that come up from the bottom of the pickup mouth and try to fork it in that way. And I don't like that design, because it leaves too big of a gap for it to still stay, not pull it in, and it can still plug easier than the design that the Klaus has. Now they're probably doing it because copyright. The other thing too is that design is smaller and it fits into the current bale frame packages that they have, because if they were to put those big rotors into like the M series Vermeer or the N, the way their frames are set up, it would take up so much room. I don't know how they would make that work. So that's probably why they've come up with that other design. But I would like to see Vermeer actually design a baler like that 504 Pro baler they've been running, which is the Lely design. I would actually like to see them design a baler like that they've made themselves. They would probably make a heck of a baler if they did. I don't like the old school designs. I just don't. They don't bale near as good. And if y'all ever run one of these newer balers like the Klaus is, or even the McHale or the Kuhn is kind of copied off of the Klaus, but I don't like how theirs has the augers attached to the rotor. I don't like that design. I just don't. I feel like it's not going to move the hay as well as the big augers that's separate, that sit out in front. And that's one of the issues I have with them, and I've heard that they've had issues too from people that know. And then I have some of y'all that's told me they work really good, so I don't know. But let's see. Dave Cisco, thinking of getting a skid steer with tracks. Is it a farm tool I can't do without? If you are doing a lot of manure work and cleaning out like a barn or something, yes. The only thing is they're a little wider. But if you're doing a lot of pallet work, yes. If you're unloading square bales off a trailer with a grapple and into a barn, yes. The only thing I don't like about tracks versus tires is if you do a lot of running around for long distances, like driving way across the field back and forth, there's a lot more wear and tear with the tracks because of that. They're better for digging, getting to muddy areas, going in and out, extremely stable. Lifting capacity is hugely increased with that, but they're not, they ride good, but they're not probably, as far as the durability, good for running long distances in directions. At least that's what I think I've seen out of the New Holland. I prefer using it as an unloading thing, like the shed that we've got the squares in. I would rather use it here at home and unload with it, and then take the tractor or the case out to the field to drive around. It's just, it works out better that way. The machine likes it better. But if I had to pick between tires and tracks and money was not a concern, I would go tracks. They're just so much nicer. You can push more, dig more, lift more. They're stable. I mean, the only thing is, like I said, is just running long distances. And that's because a lot too, they're slower than a tire machine a little bit. That's the only complaint I have. Would not want to use one for, and that's where basically running across the field. Like I made one video one day of me toting round bales back and forth to the truck. That's not probably the ideal thing to do with that loader. But other than that, yeah, tracks are the way to go. Let's see. Gary Davis, I am working my 5410 Vermeer now. A 5410 is a poor man's baler. Mine is a 2009. Okay, I do 850 rolls this year, and that's too much for it. 5410, is that a Rebel? I want to say that's a Rebel. Yeah, that's pushing it. That baler's kind of, I think I know the baler you're talking about. That baler is kind of more of a baler that's like the 1700 series Massey. It's a good baler if you're doing 500 or less a year for your own operation, and you've got like 50, 60, 70 head or something. You may want to sell a little bit, but it's not a baler you want to go out there and bale 1,000 or better rolls a year with. Gary, you're probably right on the line of changing to something bigger and better. But on them hills, I don't know. You get too much weight, that's going to be tough up there where you're at. Charger Mopar. Been thinking of a track skid steer, but have yet to try one out. If you run one, you'll either love it or hate it. There's no in between. Some people, when they get on them, they'll never want nothing else. I'm one of those people. Other people will get on it and not like it at all. But me personally, I got on one, that New Holland, and for what we use a skid steer for, I don't want to go back, because if I need to run around long distances, I'm going to use a tractor. It's faster anyway, because then you can go faster with one of them. Let's see. Oh, Lord. Ooh. Dang it. I seen something, and it just went away. Dang, where'd that go? Somebody asked me if there's any more donut stories. There is, but Daddy might get ill if he do about some of them, so. Oh, here we go. Okay, now I'm caught. I found it. Alright, I lost it. Jumped down on me in a hurry. Circle S Farms, the Klaus will run circles around a Vermeer. The 504 Pro, it won't. It'll outrun it. The 504 Pro Vermeer is fast, but the one problem with it is time slow on it. And that's because the chamber speed's not as fast as the Klaus. Klaus chamber speed, that's what I was talking about earlier, is so much faster. When it grabs the net, it ties that much faster because it sucks it in there quicker. That's an advantage that they have over the Vermeer 504 Pro. Now I'm interested to see how the Massey version is going to be now that they own Lely, or the Lely Hay and Forge division. Excuse me. Mark Skeen, Ultra Special had square axle and wet brakes. You are right, that is rare. Yes, it did. It had wet brakes, and we put loader smooth tires on the front of that tractor, and I raked hay all summer long with it with a New Holland roll bar rake, and I could turn that thing on a dime. I loved getting on that tractor. I'd run second high, 2,000 RPM across the field on the first pass, get to the end, stand on the brakes, swing that sucker around and go back the other way and drop the RPMs down to probably 1,500 so I don't throw the hay over the windrow. But I used to make them old bars on them New Holland rakes just chatter like crazy. That's when you knew you was getting something done, when them bars started chattering. I give them hell, boy. Let's see. Circle S Farms is fastest baler I've seen. Yeah. They're hard to beat. I mean, they really are. And that's probably why a lot of people's wondering, why are you thinking about looking at a Massey? I look at all options when we're buying, because whenever I buy it, it's going to be around for a while, and I want to make sure I get the best that's on the market for the money. And that's probably what's going to come down to between those two, because the Lely is very proven baler, because it's been on the market for many years in Europe. And that Welger design is very proven, and I'm interested to see how it stacks up, because I've never run one. If I can get one. So we'll see. Maybe I got one coming. Maybe not. We'll have to see. Let's see. If you were to get a new tractor, what would you like to buy? If I could get anything, a 6713 SL with the Dynashift transmission in it, with the console armrest, where you have the joystick at hand on the armrest of the seat with air ride seat in it, and whatnot. That'd probably be what I'd get. I think Farmer 4G, ain't that what your tractor is a 6713? Or is it bigger than that? I can't remember. But yeah, that if I get any tractor, that'd be what I'd get, because that would 7616. Okay, all right, down to 6. Yeah, all right. I thought it was something like that, but yeah, that's a bigger tractor. But yeah, if I could get anything I want, that would be it. Because then that tractor would do everything that the farm would need to do for a long time. It would last a long time. As far as horsepower wise, it wouldn't be overworked. It would be enough horsepower to where I could bale hay efficiently without burning a lot of fuel. And if I wanted to get, say, a tub grinder to grind hay, or a Vermeer bale grinder like Farmer 4G and them just got, which I'd love to have, but I don't have a tractor big enough to pull it, that would be something that that we could possibly look into the future for feeding cows here, and the calves and stuff. But yeah, that would probably be my dream tractor if I could get one. Anything. I'd like to get in row crop one day, but we ain't into. That's a dream of mine. Just because I love big machinery and running machinery. Minnesota Oliver and Deer. My friend's older brother gets in trouble all the time by doing burnouts all the way down the driveway and work the tranny by doing donuts in the parking lot with friends. Yeah. And don't never do it in your parents' driveway. That's just asking for trouble. But of course, I guess if honestly, if he's gonna do it, that's probably the best place, because then you can't get in trouble like I did. But yeah, we all do stupid stuff when we're young. But when you get older, you start realizing that if it breaks, it costs a lot to fix it. I don't do none of that crap no more, because I got old enough to where I realized how much it was going to cost to fix something if I broke it. And it's very expensive. Wayne Christopher, you really like the Coons accumulator behind that inline you have. I got one last year, way better than my old Holscher. Yes. Indiana Row Crop, who is your master dealer? Kane Equipment. Yes, I don't like the 8-bale design accumulators that do 8 straight. The reason why is you can't fill out the trailer all the way across and do a tie layer with them. There's no tie layer, and I just don't like that. I like the 10-bale flat, 8 straight, 2 on the ends across, because then you can go to each side of the trailer, each layer, and it ties perfectly. And they tie and ride so good that you don't even really have to strap them if you're not going far. Farm 4G, we've used AGCO Alice 8785 on those Vermeer processors before, only 105 PTO horsepower, and handled it decent even with Econo PTO. Yeah. The biggest tractor we got right now for PTO is, well, the McCormick is 85 at the PTO. I'm going to say the Massey, honestly, is probably stouter than that. That Massey is turned up, to be honest with y'all. The 5400 has been boosted a little bit, and it's probably sitting really around 100 horse or 105 horse engine, and maybe 85, 90 at the PTO. I'd say it's equal to the McCormick, but it has better low end torque than the McCormick. I don't, for some reason, I don't know if that's because of the turbos or if it's because of the gearing inside the tractors, but it will hold RPM way better than McCormick will. Even though they're the same block and engine. They both have the same Perkins engine in them for his block, but they're not the same. Oh, roughly how many cattle do I have myself? Classified. I can't tell some of this stuff anymore. Dad got mad at me on the last one. Indiana Row Crop, Kane Equipment. Kane Equipment is here out of Claremont, Georgia. They will ship equipment anywhere. Yeah, and if you're asking if it is can equipment, yes, can equipment. They will ship. They shipped that 6-star Klaus Tedder that I demoed off to Indiana or somewhere. I forget where it was. Somebody called one of y'all did and bought it, and they shipped it all the way out there. They ship equipment all over the country. Wayne Christian, make sure to paint it good with graphite paint. Bells won't slide good till you get the paint worn. Supposedly they've got a recall out for that. I was told, and to fix that issue when you buy them. But if it don't, we will be doing that. Thomas Wilson, yes, on the graphite paint. I had to do that last year. Thomas, how do you like yours? I know you probably. I think yours is pretty new. Indiana Real Crap. Oh, what does your dad think about you and YouTube? He likes it. Until he gets annoyed with it, with the camera being turned on. He don't want to be on it. But he likes the idea of it. But he tells me sometimes I shouldn't say some stuff I say. But as far as what he got ill about is the last one I did land totals and stuff. I told some things that he didn't want me to tell. He said I should do like everybody else on YouTube and not tell it. Which, I mean, honestly, that's what everybody else on YouTube does. They don't nobody hardly tell it. Minnesota Oliver, Goodyear truck tires like the Wranglers are the best for snow and good in the summer. Just talk to my dad, he loves them. I have not used Goodyear Wranglers in a long time, but used to. They were junk. I'm sure they're probably going back to being on the good end. Everything goes for a while and they get to where the quality's poor, and then they come back to build. It's about the bottom line. They cheapen stuff up trying to make money off of it, and then they have to make it good again to build their customer, their quality back up so they can get their customers back. All things are that way. Everything is. But hadn't run no Goodyear Wranglers in a long time. Dakota Henley, have y'all ever thought of row cropping? Yes, I have. Our land won't do it though. We would have to. I'd have to rent some bottom land somewhere or something. I would like to get into corn, honestly. Corn and soybeans. That's my great grandfather was a sharecropper. That's all he ever did till my grandpa's brother got killed, and he planted and raised corn for everybody in different crops, and he was one of the best in our area and is still well known to this day, and he's been gone from us for a long time. His people still come up to me and talk about him and the way he could grow stuff. I guess I get it from him. That's all my family ever did was raise crops. They were for a long time till my grandpa, and my grandpa got into trading cattle and pigs. We were big pig farmers for a long time. Another thing my great grandfather also done is he was in the poultry business heavily, like most people around here. But my grandpa got into being a buyer at auctions. He went all over the entire southeast, up north of us, south of us. He'd be gone a couple days at a time working cattle sales. He'd come in, and after my dad went to bed, my dad'd get up in the morning. He'd be gone or asleep because he was still hadn't been home maybe 2 or 3 hours. He really worked hard when he was younger and went through a lot to make it. But and he's built what we have. Honestly, he has. I'm trying to take it and expand on it, but he's the one that built everything we have. Let's see. Holy crap. Thomas Wilson, I love mine. I've had it for 2 years and have done 50,000 bales. Dang. You got some hay about squares, son. In 2 years. That's a pretty good sized square bale operation. That's where I'd like to be. I mean, if I get a coon, that's where I'm hoping to get. But we'll see. Wayne Christopher, please buy my combine. Sell it cheap. I can't get one right now. That's on down the road someday. We'll see. I tell you though, if I was in row cropping big and I was gonna buy a new combine, I would get a Klaus Lexion. Those are some sweet machines. Now you want to talk about nice? Now, those are nice. John Deere makes a real good combine too. Hilton Family Farm. Any dairies left in your area? Not really. It's like everywhere to run them out. That the government has put them out of business. They've all just quit or went to doing something else. There's a few, not many. Any row crop, do you ever think about tobacco? That is what we did before grain. No, I had never thought about it. I know I've seen Farming Life, and that who does the tobacco on YouTube. Some people's watched. My dad used to watch him some when he first started out, and he watched him make tobacco and stuff and talked about it, but I hadn't never really thought about that. Honestly, our ground's perfect for cotton, but I can never do that. We don't have enough flat land to justify a cotton picker or anything, but the ground's poor enough and perfect for growing it with our Georgia red clay. Farming 4G, yeah, it's tough. It's always tough drawing the line and what to tell and not to do. Same with myself. It's not my business. I won't go into details. If it's not my business, I won't go into details. Yeah. I mean, people will know. I mean, they're curious. I mean, I was the same way. But, I mean, you gotta, what it is it all boils down to competition and everything. And just some things is better to keep private. But I almost feel obligated to tell kind of where we're at, because then people get an idea of what we're actually doing. Because I don't want to mislead anybody. But we do a lot of hay, and we got a lot of cows too for our area. Thomas Wilson, I love to get up to 100,000 a year. Yeah, really. You get that many up, you doing something, man. That's a lot of hay for our area. But you could sell it here. You can definitely sell it. Wayne Christopher, Farm 4G 360 videos are awesome. Yep, I'll agree. What? Charger Mopar. When AB grass, you mean the actual lawn weed? You say CR? I don't know what you mean. Clarify that a little bit for me. I'm a little slow. Minnesota Oliver and Deer. Those kids are looking for that red clay to go mudding in. Yeah. It's fun for that, because you can get stuck in a hurry in red clay. People don't understand how red clay is if you've never been around it. It is slick, God almighty. It don't take nothing to get stuck. Oh, Charger Mopar, crabgrass. Now, crabgrass has got a straight stem on it and little bitty seeds. It's good. It's really good. The horses like it. It's got a lot of, I think it has fiber, a lot of fiber to it. It's pretty common around here. A lot of people want it. I can sell the crap out of that stuff. And yes, the actual lawn weed. When it gets tall, it's good hay. Charger Mopar, coastal Bermuda is the dominant hay here. You've got to live in Florida. There's lots of people trucking that crap up here, and in rolls and rebaling it and selling it. I don't see how they're turning a profit doing it, but they're doing it. Indiana row crop, Massey combine. Yeah. Look at one. Probably gleaner rather than a Massey. You can get a combine from Agco, you might as well make it a gleaner. I mean, that's all they are. That new I think it's a Zero. Is that what that new combine they've come out with? It looks good. But how did Johnson grass situation turn out? Good. It's gone for this year, but it'll be back next spring, lightly, and I'll have to do it again. If we do it again, we'll see. It just depends on if we can afford to or not. You can't put too much inputs in and not make anything. That's one thing with farming. No matter what you're in, you've got to watch your inputs, because you can go out there and do a shotgun blast of inputs and you won't make any money and you get no return out of it, because sometimes you can't overload the ground with stuff. That's one thing with that Johnson grass stuff. It does hurt your hay production. It will stun it a little bit. Hilton Family Farm. Many cows would have starved if it wasn't for crabgrass and Johnson grass. Crabgrass, maybe. Johnson grass, no. Or I don't know how everybody else's cows are, but if I put a bale of Johnson grass out, there's probably a foot left in the bottom of the hay ring where they ate everything but the Johnson grass. If you cut it short, they made a little bit of it. The best way to do Johnson grass, honestly, is to bale it, stack it outside, and let the stuff turn black and start to decay. And then the stalks will naturally break down enough to where the cows can chew it. Or you can grind it. If you got a hammer mill and grind it to make feed, works good then. That's something I'd like to have again, is a hammer mill for these calves that we're fooling with, so then I can make starter feed to start them out with to get them onto the bread, or just make feed altogether. Thomas Wilson, most of it's custom mulch hay. That's a big business. I ain't got enough ground really to justify doing mulch. I would like to, because then it's easier. Because you don't have to put all the inputs into it, but you do some stuff. But Charger Mopar, regrow hay just to keep the property under tax exemption. Some has no rent. Yeah, a lot of people that we cut the hay off their ground, that's what the reason why they let us do it. Same thing with cattle, just so they don't have to pay taxes on it. Minnesota Oliver, I'll stay here with black dirt and ice. Go check farm kids. Love to cut donuts with four-wheelers, at least where I am. Wayne Christopher overtook most of alfalfa this year. I rolled it, and honestly, it made some of the best cow hay we made. Yeah, it does. It makes real good cow hay. Horses like it. They really do. If you can get people to buy it. If you can get people to start buying that stuff, they will buy it and buy it and buy it. That's a lot of things, a lot of grasses. Horse people are so stuck on coastal Bermuda or different kinds of hay like alfalfa and stuff. If you can ever get them to try certain other kinds of hay, maybe some of your local hay that comes up naturally, that you can bale, that has a lot of fiber in it, it is some of the best hay for them, and they'll come back and buy it and buy it and buy it. But the trick is you got to talk them into it. Sometimes you may have to bale a little bit, give them a bale or two and tell them to try it, and then they'll come back and want some more. Wayne Christopher, we cut it in boot stage. Oh, you're talking about Johnson grass. Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you was talking about crabgrass. Oh, no Johnson grass for me. Sorry. Don't want that crap. You can come have mine if you want it. Circle less far. You wrap any hay? A lot of people into wrapping around here. Nope. A lot of people's tried it around here, and nobody ever liked doing it. Honestly. Charger Mopar, you ever get someone to come and help you out while doing hay? Just a friend, as a friend, or they only looking for money to do anything? No, don't ever have anybody really to come help us. Hey, one reason is generally if somebody comes and works for us, we want to pay them. I mean, it's just just what we do. And we just can't afford right now to pay somebody. That's the thing. We're about to get to the point where we're gonna have to, but we'll see. Because I'm getting stretched so thin, I don't want to be stretched any thinner. This past hay season took a toll on me, honestly. It's the first time when we got done with it that I was glad to be done. And so Oliver, I've been wanting to farm since I was a little kid. Think of starting out with some old John Deere's and Oliver's like Oliver's 66 Farm Boy did. Well, that's going to be hard. I mean, honestly, it is. It's better to get started and established with something that is easy and affordable to get parts for than some of that older stuff that's difficult and high to get parts for. Depending on what it is, as fun and as exciting as it sounds, honestly, you're probably better off starting with some stuff that's affordable and easy, and then once you get established, you make it, and then you can start messing with that. I mean, that's just a little personal advice from me. As much fun as it is, that's like at 383 we've had that thing since basically nearly it was new, and it's never leaving this farm. And actually, remember that Sperry New Holland I kept talking about? Right here, look how shiny that 383 is. Told y'all I kept that thing looking good, and one of these days I'm gonna get it back looking like that again. See, Wayne Christopher Law, I don't want the crap either, just can't kill it off. Making lemonade with lemons, I guess. Yeah, it's tough to kill, it really is. They say it makes good silage if you cut it right, but we don't do silage. Thomas Wilson, I have had more goat people buy my alfalfa than horses. You know, that's crazy. We had that goat people come up here and they'd want some of the best hay that had to feed them goats. Goats will eat anything. They're worse than cows. You can feed them anything and they'll eat it and be fine. Feed them garbage and they'll live. Them things are indestructible. And I've never figured that out when a goat person wants to give them something like alfalfa or just the best quality stuff. Wayne Christopher, great talking to you. Vids are great and your channel is growing. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you, Wayne. Alrighty, guys. We're at 89 minutes. Holy cow, my wife's probably ready to kill me. Of course, she has been watching The Bachelor tonight, so I guess she's been entertained with that. But thanks for watching tonight, y'all. This is one of the new things I'm going to be doing with the channel that I was talking about in the update video is more of this stuff. Garbage can. There it goes. Yeah. Alright, y'all. See ya. I gotta go.